NASCAR is stuck in the talking stage with a fourth manufacturer, and let's discuss some delicious Daytona matchups. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Stop me if you've heard this one. NASCAR is reportedly close to signing a fourth manufacturer. Haven't heard that one before. We'll get to that story and more in just a few moments. First, this episode is sponsored by the NASCAR Hall of Fame, where NASCAR history and heritage comes alive. Celebrate the class of 2025. Carl Edwards, Ricky Rudd, and Ralph Moody have artifacts on display in the Hall of Honor. And while you're there, don't miss the special Hendrick Motorsports 40th anniversary exhibit presented by Napa, and the Ford Performance Showcase that highlights the development of the next-gen car and the new Mustang Dark Horse. Get behind the wheel of realistic iRacing simulators, take part in the Pit Crew Challenge, and on Mondays and Fridays, guided tours can take you behind the scenes with a NASCAR Hall insider. From the legends who shaped this sport to the new heroes searching for a spot in the record books, the NASCAR Hall of Fame delivers an unforgettable experience. Book your visit today at NASCARHall.com.
New paint scheme alert. New
All right.
paint scheme alert.
Whoa, okay, I see what you mean. Wendy's on board Helio Castroneves' 91 Chevrolet at Daytona this weekend. I love the vibrant blue, those sharp red wheel well designs, nice checkered pattern in the front. Simple, but looks nice. I'm a fan of bright, simple paint schemes at super speedways. When you have 30 cars in a pack, it needs to be easy to pick your favorite driver out of the field. Big logo on the front, looks good, recognizable. Wendy's will do battle with Chili's, another iconic American restaurant chain. They're back with Spire Motorsports. Ride the Dente. I think I saw there's a whole country music video associated with this campaign. What is going on? Why does Carson Hocevar look like that? Noah Gregson is spot on. Chili's is also sponsoring the ARCA race this weekend. Justin Haley will drive this car. I like it. Again, got the big iconic logo on the hood. The red and blue trim, really nice. Wendy's, Chili's, all that's missing is, of course, McDonald's back with Bubba Wallace. I love the hood. The red and yellow, the golden arches, beautiful. Not sure about the white McDonald's text on the yellow French fry background, but I'll let it slide. Dang, so we got Wendy's, Chili's, McDonald's, and I'm probably missing another one, all on track in the Daytona 500 this Sunday. The Food Wars. Talk about a delicious Daytona matchup. Which iconic American restaurant chain will come out on top Sunday evening? Bubba Wallace has 2 second-place finishes in the Great American Race, finished 5th last year, but Justin Haley has a rain-shortened Daytona win on his Cup resume. He's also a 4-time Xfinity Series Super Speedway winner. Helio Castroneves may be new to NASCAR, but he's used to the pressure. I'm sure he'll get up to speed quickly. I just don't see him being the kind of guy to control the race, lead both lanes. I could see him being top 5, top 10 on the final lap, maybe takes advantage of a big crash, a lucky push, you never know. Castroneves does have this built-in advantage. He has 3 Trackhouse teammates, while Justin Haley has 2 Spire teammates and Bubba has 2 2311. So strength in numbers may slightly favor the Trackhouse driver in this case. Let me know in the comments below. Wendy's, McDonald's, or Chili's? Which restaurant are you riding with? I would lean Bubba Wallace, been really good on super speedways. Like I just said, several top 5 finishes in his Daytona 500 career, but let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comment section below. I'm not a big sports bettor by any means, but this seems like a fun side bet. You know, who wins the food war on Sunday? Could be pretty close. Anyway, let's get to some real NASCAR news. First, I want to mention that tomorrow night, Wednesday night, after Daytona 500 pole qualifying, I will be streaming live right here on YouTube with the Iceberg. Danny B will break down what happened in single car qualifying, who's already locked into the show. We'll also preview the 67th Daytona 500. So right after Daytona qualifying, tune in right here. We'll be streaming live well into the evening. Should be a blast. The Sports Business Journal recently interviewed NASCAR President Steve Phelps, and quotes from their conversation continue to grab headlines. Reporter Adam Stern posted this yesterday. Steve Phelps says there's legitimate reason for optimism over NASCAR adding a 4th and even 5th official car maker. Quote, I know that's an answer I've given repeatedly over the last 5 years, but they're facts. There's no BS in the comment I just made. Oh man, the unknown fourth NASCAR manufacturer is becoming a bigger mystery than the Loch Ness Monster. I appreciate Phelps acknowledging that he sounds a little crazy. Every year, we're close, we're talking, it's coming guys, bear with me. Remember a couple years ago, didn't he name drop Dodge specifically? Last year, there was real smoke around the Honda rumors, considering the IndyCar side of things. But here we are, another year, another vague quote, and I'm not convinced we're another year closer to actually getting a fourth OEM into NASCAR. The last time a new manufacturer joined NASCAR was 2007, Toyota. It's been almost 20 years. Gosh. I honestly don't envy NASCAR's position here. I don't follow the real world news super closely, but what I have read suggests it's a difficult time for car manufacturers. Different countries have different regulations. There's been a lot of pressure put on manufacturers to develop battery electric vehicles, despite the consumer support maybe not being there yet. It's hard to say what technology is going to be most popular in 10 years. NASCAR is mostly a marketing effort for these companies now. If you don't even know what you're making, how can you know what to market? My guess is that is what has slowed down these conversations between NASCAR and potential manufacturers more than anything. But Steve Phelps continues to be optimistic. I do want to mention, and I'll put a link to this down below, but Bob Pockrass, Fox Sports, wrote something interesting in a recent story. He mentions 2 Cup Series teams that he believes could be attractive to a fourth manufacturer, Trackhouse and RFK Racing. Sure, Trackhouse has ties to Chevrolet, RFK has ties to Ford, but neither are considered the number one team for their respective manufacturers. Bob Pockrass theorizes that those are teams that might be interested in joining forces with a new OEM if they could become that OEM's flagship program, the way Hendrick is for Chevy, Penske is for Ford, and Joe Gibbs is for Toyota. And I found that comment interesting. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, Trackhouse is becoming like a global brand. Their efforts in MotoGP, they just helped field an IMSA entry in the Rolex 24. In the Daytona 500, they'll have drivers from Mexico, New Zealand, Brazil, and Florida driving their equipment. 2 of their drivers have Red Bull connections, so Trackhouse especially, I get why they might be attractive to a new OEM. You'd want to pick a team that's pretty big, well-established, decent resources. I think about like when Toyota first came into NASCAR, a year in, they teamed up with Joe Gibbs Racing. Joe Gibbs Racing had won championships in 2000, 2002, 2005. They were an established contender with the infrastructure to make that switch. They'd switched from Pontiac to Chevy not long before. Trackhouse, doesn't have any recent Cup championships, but I think they overall fit the description. RFK's a little more interesting, especially considering Jack Roush's deep personal ties to the Ford Motor Company, but it's no longer just Roush Racing. There's an F and there's a K. The Fenway Sports Group, they have ties to the Boston Red Sox, Pittsburgh Penguins, Liverpool Football Club. They have a pretty expansive portfolio themselves that any new manufacturer might be able to take advantage of. Anyway, just thinking out loud, I thought those examples, again, theorized by Bob Pockrass, were interesting, worth mentioning, worth discussing here on the show. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope a fourth manufacturer is close, but we've been hearing this same story now for years. One final topic, but before I get to that, I want to remind you guys that Brennan Poole and I will be doing not 1, but 2 live shows at Daytona International Speedway this weekend. If you're coming to the track Friday night, stop by the NASCAR Experience stage before the Truck Series race to catch our first show, and then Saturday, after the ARCA race, but before the Xfinity race, stop by. We'll be doing it all over again. I mean, there'll be 2 different shows. We'll have 2 different conversations, but in both cases, we'll be hanging out with fans. Should be a good time. Hope to see you there. All right, I saved this topic for last because I don't want to dwell on it. Denny Hamlin, new season of his podcast Actions Detrimental just dropped, and in yesterday's episode, he mentioned a rumor he says he heard from someone at NASCAR about the 2026 playoff format. Hamlin said, quote, I heard a dirty rumor, someone from NASCAR said it, that maybe we expand the championship race to 5 drivers. No, you're going the wrong direction. Please don't do that. You're just watering this down more. Look, I have no idea if that was something that was actually said by anyone at NASCAR, but just in case it was, I agree with Denny Hamlin fully. No, not that. This is a terrible idea. Of the dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of playoff format proposals I've seen over the offseason, not one person has suggested, hey, you know that single race finale at Phoenix? What if we go from 4 to 5 drivers instead? Not one person is asking for this change. The biggest problem with the playoffs isn't how many drivers are eligible for the championship the final week. It's that there is a final winner-take-all one-race championship finale. If Joey Logano had been forced to hold on to his championship lead for 3 races instead of just the one race at Phoenix, I think more fans would have accepted his title run. The legitimacy would not have been questioned as much as it was. The biggest problem with the championship round isn't the number of drivers who are eligible, it's the fact that one race, when you have 30 plus cars on track, so many things that can happen beyond your control, one race is not a large enough sample size. That's why I've pushed all offseason for a 3-race final round. You can watch my video from November. I spell out my ideal playoff format in great detail, but the focus should be balancing entertainment, close, competitive points battles with a large enough sample size that the legitimacy is not called into question as much as it's been. Right now we have too much of this. Wow, 4 guys tied for the championship with 1 race, everything on the line. Too much of this, not enough of this. The goal, at least with my proposed format, making a 3-race final round, would hopefully balance out this a little bit more. A little bit larger sample size, still close, still competitive, but now you strike a fairer balance. Championship 5, final 5. Who came up with this? Who asked for that? I'm telling you, I've read hundreds of comments this offseason. I haven't seen Championship 5 mentioned once. Not at all. Is this what ChatGPT is spitting out? Oh, goodness gracious. Got to get those bugs worked out. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on this because we're hearing it second or third hand. It's Denny Hamlin passing the message along. He says it's just a rumor. I don't want to dwell on it because there's a great chance that that conversation really hasn't happened. The only reason I'm bringing it up here is so that in case it is legit, in case that is something NASCAR is considering, I'm trying to send a message to anyone who will listen that no, we don't want that. That's like the one change nobody is asking for. Goodness. Anyway, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if you disagree down in the comment section below. But that is going to do it for this episode, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I know, I'm sorry. Daytona week, and we have to spend 5 minutes talking about the playoffs. It's too soon. I understand. Thanks for watching, y'all. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters. Keep an eye on your subscription feeds, folks. Got a lot of videos coming out over the next few days. Qualifying tomorrow night. Live stream afterwards. Duels on Thursday, Truck Xfinity Cup Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Great American Race. You'll be seeing plenty of me over the next few days. I'll talk to you again soon.